Symbolizes these fundamental freedoms: freedom of speech and freedom of expression. He is a visual artist, activist, immigrant, and currently works as an interpreter for the Westman Immigrant Services. He was born and raised in Mexico, and he's been living in Brandon for the last 11 years. He's had many shows across the world, such as Vancouver, Berlin, and Mexico City. Media in the Atlantic provinces called his work beautiful, political, and strong. And I just want to share one installation, The Degradation of Ourselves. And he expressed his opinions and views on human misery, on animal suffering, labor abuse, social breakdowns. And I did want to share briefly here that the Conservative government is making major changes to immigration policies. As we know, the provincial nominee program is being affected. The Minister of Immigration just got a cold call and said, this is what happened, this is what's happening, with no consultation whatsoever. So the Conservative Party is shifting away from family class applications towards temporary foreign workers. They're making it more difficult for immigrants to reunite with families. And they are not upholding Canada's values of human rights and equality by allowing employers to pay up to 15% less to temporary foreign workers. Please welcome Juan.
Thank you. Today, we are making local history thanks to Westman Citizens United and their initiative to finally speak out the truth that many Brandonites are unaware of. I am a Mexican-Canadian dual citizen. My heart and allegiance belong to both nations, but first of all it belongs to the seeking of truth and pursuit of a fair society, here and abroad. I belong to the very first group of foreign workers from Mexico that arrived in Brandon 10 years ago. I am not pretending to speak on behalf of the immigrants, neither self-proclaimed to be their spokesperson. I am speaking here today to talk about my own experience. Very sadly, a small amount of Brandonites and a very few immigrants are aware of the situation that we have been pushed into. With the Bill C-38 and the changes in the immigration law affecting Manitoba, we have been put at the edge of the cliff. My words are to be heard by the activist, the open mind, by those who are awake, but also by the hypocritical, the intellectual arrogant, by the prudish and false Puritan, and mainly by the politicians and the ignorant ones that want to keep themselves inside and save their artificial comfort zone. I am deeply thankful with Canada that accepted me as her son, and it is because of that that I have the duty to fight against those circumstances making Canada fall downhill. I will give my last breath to the improvement of our beloved land, which was built as an immigrant nation with all kinds of people, from First Nations to individuals from all corners of the world. A situation is happening right now. People is getting aware. This awakening is because we are rediscovering that when something affects the population worldwide, it does not matter you do not feel it, or that in your community the effects of such changes are not felt immediately, because as a matter of fact, it is going to be affected sooner rather than later. The truth is that we all are connected. The alternative media, and especially the internet, have made distances disappear, and whatever happens in the world is felt immediately in the opposite corner. This realization also means that it is in your power, in people's power, to change what is happening here and anywhere else. Stephen Harper is a traitor to our nation, a puppet of the world's elite. The same that has put the entire planet upside down in just 10 years, with the goal to totally control everything. As immigrants, we have the right to speak out our thoughts. We have the obligation to keep ourselves up to date about every single aspect of our local, provincial, national, and international circumstances. It is in our hands to make clear that we know that the principles Canada was built upon are in great jeopardy. It is our duty to demand our representatives to do their work and bring back the Canada we all love. Because they are public servants, not masters. They are crushing our liberties so fast and swiftly that very soon, without any chance to defend ourselves, we will be living an Orwellian nightmare. 1984 and Brave New World have already become a reality. Do you really want to be a slave without any right? A citizen without a voice, subject of permanent imprisonment, torture, and oppression, crushed by a federal government that is acting as having full power to make whatever they want to make our rights and freedoms disappear overnight? Allow me to be clear. I came 10 years ago, dreaming of a freedom land full of opportunities to grow and raise a family. But Canada was not what I thought it was. Since 9/11, the core essence of our nation has been destroyed. Terrorists did not do this. Politicians did, using terror as an excuse. Harper has sold our nation to the New World Order. If we do not act now, very soon we will see our country gone, melted in a false North American Union, built from the remains of our basic human rights. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is a truth that the corporative media and the government will never tell. Go and investigate. Get informed. It is your duty. One single misinformed person is capable of derailing our future. Democracy has become a weapon of mass destruction. Conservatives and liberals are nothing but a fallacy. Both are controlled by the same puppeteer. Democracy has become a false reality that can only be overturned with an informed society. It is in our hands to bring back the real power of the people, to bring our Canada back. It is up to us to make the Canadian Army what it was, a proud force of peacekeeping, not a mercenary task force under the control of NATO. It is time to wake up to the anachronistic and deceptive nonsense of the Commonwealth, and once and for all withdraw for good the British Crown away from our national affairs. I wish I could call my country Democratic States of Canada. Make no mistake, this is 2012. Whoever bowing to the crown, whoever giving up the dictatorial powers, such as the ones Harper is imposing in himself, whoever believes we are bombing the Arab world because we are fighting for freedom and democracy, are simply out of context, ignorant of a reality that is already just in front of your eyes. We can only remove the veil that is blinding us. We just have to realize it and do it one person at a time. Thank you.